Okay.
All right. So, thank you everyone for going through and testing. I did mark, put some information in the workbook. And so as you go through some of these areas, I put some of the um, either updates that we need to make or at least address some of the areas that will make updates in future enhancements. So on this first page, it takes into consideration some of the comments um, on this primary contact information tab as well. There were some comments about how whenever you had gone into the site, put the information in, and then tried to go back into it, you weren't able to see the information that you put in there. And that's because we didn't have you as the primary contact. So there, some of the updates that are kind of wrapped around that piece of it as being a primary contact or address the logging in issue um, was to add a button so that you can easily see to add a contact. One of the pieces of feedback on this next tab down here a little bit further was to add like there was some confusion as to, well, what does it really mean to be a service finder primary contact, secondary contact, referral secondary contact. And so we can put some more information on that page to better define those so that people know whenever they're adding those types of contacts, what is the appropriate option to select. And one of the other things is to make sure that we're requiring a service finder primary contact, and then to also allow that service finder primary contact to be the same person as a referral contact. Some of the other things that we'll look at, the service finder is um, it's pretty old. It's been around a while, so it's definitely due for some updates. And we're also working on an entity management piece with the IWDS 2.0 system. And so as we're, um, you know, building out the IWDS 2.0 system and aligning and putting all those coordinating that effort between updating Service Finder along with the development of IWDS 2.0, that will make sure that your suggestions related to some of the navigation as it relates to Service Finder are incorporated in that feedback. Again, this kind of goes with the navigation and just a better way of being able to enter hours of operation. So I definitely agree with you. That's great feedback. I think one of the things that would be easy enough to do on the feedback as to not requiring the HTTP piece of it. Um, we can. I think that would be something that we could do relatively quickly. And then I believe I talked mostly about the updates related to, adding a button, putting the descriptions down for the different types of contacts and so forth. There's really no feedback on social media. The program information tab. We did have some information under here, program under the snap. I do want to say that the text that we used was based on was the exact text that's in the referral guide that was put out, I think, in April. So we'll go ahead and make sure that whatever you know if there's updates and so forth, we want to keep it in alignment with that referral guide. And so again, the navigation piece, we can put that into consideration. And especially when there's just like different text updates, then we can go ahead and incorporate that, the Service Finder as well. And again, any of these, this is kind of an older piece that we had from a long time ago. So as we make updates to the um, IWDS or develop IWDS 2.0, we'll be updating the Service Finder as well. There was a question about whether they should be seeing some other sites, or should they only be able to see the sites that they are adding, that they've added in their primary contact for. So if you are in our standard um, uh, partner role, it's just the kind of the default partner role, that you would only be able to see the service locator um, sites that you have been identified as a primary, secondary, a contact for. And but if you're a person that normally works with, your overall LWIA and is responsible for managing and adding partners, that you would still be able to do so with we have an LWIA manager and LWIA coordinator role. So with that, you can look at the bigger picture with your um, partners that are in your area, and you would be able to, add and update and so forth, those types of partners. Okay, same thing with the aligning these updates with the enhancements and development for the IWDS 2.0. And then, and I believe, oh, the very last piece, we need to do probably some more testing on this, but I have a feeling that it was, related to that part about updating, having the sites approved. So, we can take a look at this site specific URL, but I think it was because some of those sites weren't approved, but we can do some more testing.
Excuse me, number 3 there though was the one that was really kind of, it was a pain, because if you type in like a keyword and then just hit enter, you download a notes page for some reason.
Okay, let me see if I can highlight this or add text here. So let me see if I can. Thank you for pointing that out, because I overlooked that. Sorry. All right.
Does anyone else have any comments or feedback they wanted to further give Natasha and I some information on, or anything like that? If not, we can move next into, unless Natasha, did you have anything else that you wanted to go over?
Nope. I just want to make sure I highlight this so I look into it.
Perfect. Okay. While you have your screen up, Natasha, can you go to release 2 there for me?
Sure.
Okay. Perfect. So just wanted to go through this again. You guys did great adding feedback into the release 1 piece of the notebook. So we've created release 2 here. So whenever you're adding for this next round of UAT, you've got kind of your different pieces here. The reviewer check-in really just helps me know that you have all had gone in there, helps me track participation. So especially if you don't have any comments or anything, it helps me to know that you at least reviewed it. Otherwise, I'm like, why isn't anyone in there? Which I know at first some people were and didn't check in, which is totally okay. But that just kind of helps me reduce the amount of reminders I send you guys. So I appreciate it. And then as we go into these other ones, we've got like the add a customer, we've got adding a referral, updating referrals, and then also just like viewing history, any notes or questions or enhancements, anything like that that you guys might have as we go through this next portion. So, Natasha, thank you for showing that. I will go ahead and show mine now. So, let's see here.
I have one more quick question on
Yeah,
with
yeah.
when you're doing the sites. 'Cause, I mean, like currently, the system just imports some of the information from IWDS,
Mhm.
and the whole thing like with office numbers, is that still going to be part of the the new system? As I know, like with us, we have like different sites, so they each have an office number.
I
Is
can
that
jump
Oh,
still?
in
gotcha.
and I can jump in and
Listen.
answer that. So we will still maintain some kind of connection between IWDS 2.0 and Service Finder as it relates to the like WIOA office locations. We are looking at making that a little bit more intuitive. There's a very specific way in which you guys have to update your information in one system and it feeds through into the other. As we're working on wrapping up some entity management stuff with IWDS 2.0 work, we will then start having conversations around the connection of that to the service finder and how we can make that more expansive and intuitive, but that connection will still be there.
I think, Olivia, you were probably involved with that one big issue we had when our office moved and trying to make an address change.
Yes.
And hope we whatever that was doesn't get repeated.
Yeah, we definitely want to move away from the way it's currently structured. It's very one-sided and requires stuff to get passed and other people to see it and update it. And we want to make it way more intuitive so we can avoid pitfalls like the one you're talking about with the address changes. And we know other locals have run into it when they've like renamed all of their sites. And it can be kind of a big thing to get updated across the board and takes time from it to sync from one place to another. So we'll be looking at a better way to do that with a transition.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Olivia. Let's see, one other thing to add real quick from the issue reporting. If you have any specifics, you guys did well of coming in saying your name, if you had any, items and, providing screenshots for us and like specific things that you thought would happen but didn't happen, errors that you ran into. We want to make sure those are documented so that we can classify those for any fixes like bugs or enhancements. So just a reminder on if you need to look at that example reporting, it's right here as well. Okay, so what we're going to look at real quick is the guide for release 2. So this is going to be very similar to that first guide you all followed from release 1, but this one is centered around adding customers and adding referrals in the test environment for the referral system. So the purpose here is that you should be able to add a customer to the referral system and add multiple referrals or just one to send that to the referral organization. So we'll be walking through those steps. I did put a due date on this of October 1st, 2025. So that should give you about 10 days to test, 7 to 8 business days from today. So plenty of time to get in there. You will still use that test login username and password that we made you. What we did as well, which I'll show you, is we connected all of your usernames to an example organization too. So I'll go through that here in a moment, but make sure you're using that example, test Kelly T, and that test password I have for mine is what yours is too, test 2025. So use that because that's going to be attached to what you did for release 1 when you put your service or put your organization in the service finder. Okay, so to simplify this one out a little bit, since we're not in the service finder anymore, in this release, we've got your test URL here for the referral system. So you'll access this and put in that testing login information that we gave you. Also, you've got that link to your referral UAT notebook here. So you can go into that as well, like we just did. If you have any issues with the notebook, let me know, but otherwise it should be open to anyone. So just let me know if you have any access issues.
Hey,
And we'll make
Kelly.
sure. Yep.
I'm not sure if it's a me thing or not, but I only see the table of contents.
Same.
Everybody
Oh, really?
else? Yeah.
Is it not? Let me see. Let me try sharing again. There we go. Thank you, Olivia. I
All
was
right,
sharing
I
the wrong
see
screen.
it now. Perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, I had it open on 2 screens, so at least it was the right one, the right guide. Okay, so on here, we've got your due date of 10/1/25. As you scroll down, you've got your link to the test system for the referrals, and then also your link for the notebook here. And again, this walks you through how to submit those issues. So making sure that you're being concise but detailed. If you have multiple issues, make sure you address those separately so that we can classify those on our end as well. And if you have any issues accessing the notebook, just go ahead and reach out to me on that, and we'll make sure that you can get in there. But it should be open to everyone. But I know sometimes access links can be a little wonky. So just reach out if you have any issues. So expectations, again, testing thoroughly, being detail oriented, and then also what we will do from there, from the feedback you provide, as Natasha showed you today, what we did with your feedback from last time is we kind of classified that into different things. So a lot of them being enhancements that are going to be going into that development as we, get to the future of the service finder, and that being more integrated in the 2.0 port or IWGS 2.0. So we kind of went through and classified those. So best practices, make sure you're thinking like the end user, especially for those of us that maybe aren't making referrals all the time, but are a big portion of the development of this. But then also being specific and thorough where possible, including specific steps, outcomes versus what actually happened, and then providing context too. So especially for those of you that work in local areas and maybe you come across specific things that the system should be able to do this, or this is the specific context of why and how often it happens, gives us a lot of information that we can continue to build off of. Okay. So from there, it's going to walk you through navigating to the system, adding a customer. I do want to cover this testing personas here real quick. One thing that we do whenever we test the system to give you something a little bit more detailed to go off of is create these personas where you can go in and say, okay, Sarah has persona 1 here. So she's going to be able to click into this document. This is the link that you need. So let's see here. So Sarah, for example, is going to be doing persona 1, which is our persona Victor Hayes. So this persona, it gives you their address, date of birth, if they're a veteran, yes or no, a profile overview. So in this case, Victor's a Vietnam War veteran facing homelessness with low digital literacy. So it gives you some information here on the different things that you would need to refer this individual to. So you'll utilize these testing focuses. So in this case, right, we have a persona who's needing multiple referrals, which I know was important whenever we talked about what we wanted testing to accomplish in the beginning of this process. So Sarah would walk through, add these multiple referrals as part of, her direction of where to test. So everyone has one person assigned to them. So I want you to definitely use that person, but then also don't feel like you can only have to test one person too. So if you're like, you know what, I actually remember a couple weeks ago, I had a customer come in and, I helped them with XYZ. I think it'd be helpful for me to walk through even that person's, information. So I think those are some really good things to keep in mind as you're testing as well. If you tested a bunch, it continues to help us find different things. So, but hopefully that makes sense. If you have any questions on how to utilize the personas, please let us know. But they're kind of listed here. Everyone has one assigned, and then you can decide from there if you want to test additional. But I think that's always a good idea. Either make up the data or use another real life example, from a customer you may have worked with. So just avoid putting any like actual PII in the system, kind of make things up as you go as you're testing someone's situation. Okay, so that's going to be linked here. You should be able to access that too. And then everyone's assignments here. I will also put this in the, I will also put this in there as well. Okay, I'm just checking the chat. So I'll put this in the email as well that I send out with the recap. So some of them repeat. I did test. It will, you're not going to run like Carrie, you and Sarah are both testing Persona 1. It will let you add both in this test environment. So don't worry about like the duplicate piece. So here we go. Okay, well, what I'm going to do, your testing personas document's also linked here. So as you start going through this, it'll be here too. But from there, I'm going to go ahead and walk you all through the system. So this is your test apps for the referral system. So in this case, I'm going to use my login that I made for myself, similar to yours. Well, give that another try. We'll try this again. It is funny how it always does that whenever we're demoing something. There we go. It probably just timed out. Okay, so in here, once you log in, it's going to land you at kind of this main page here where you're able to search customers. So if I was looking for someone specific, like the last name Potter, to make sure that they don't have a duplicate in the system already, you can utilize that search functionality there. It does allow you to, you know, look by provider as well. So like, who are my individuals that were referred to provider Carter Foundation, which program, referral statuses that you'd be able to search by as well in the future. So you can play around with that feature a little bit. Outside of that, let's see. Oh, wait. So we'll bring you back to the main list. So let's say I do have a new individual that I'm going to be adding. I can come in here and hit add customer. And your personas are going to provide you with this required information so that you can kind of go off of that. Feel free to add additional information down here at the bottom. We did provide addresses within there, but it is optional information. So if you feel like you should, go ahead. But you'll add those customers in there. Let's see. Put in those date of births. Oh, 1800s. Well, there. From here, you can put a fake email address. So if you do like kelly@fakemail.com, you can utilize those, and then it'll ask you the veteran status and then the organization. So since I'm logged into, so in my service finder, I'm connected to these organizations. So your organization is who is referring. So let's say I'm referring them from Carter Foundation. Zip code, and then hit add customer. So once you do that, it adds your customer to this list, and then you can click into that customer from there to start adding that referral. So once I click into that customer name who I just added, if we hit add referral here, this will let us start adding the referral piece. Over on the left, a couple things to note. It does create a workNet ID, a username. It'll have that email, their veteran status, and the date their account was recreated. So there's a couple functionalities there. Down here at the bottom, those are going to tie in eventually with bringing everything together with IWDS 2.0. So this piece kind of down at the bottom is more of a placeholder at the moment, but gives you an idea of the future. Okay, let's see. Is there, Patty, you had a question. Is there a feature that can distinguish those common names. Can you elaborate on that?
Trying. Okay, I couldn't unmute here. Sorry.
Oh, you're good.
I think I answered my own question. I saw that there's a workNet ID. I was
Oh, okay.
yeah. When I was searching, I was like, well, what if I had a bunch of John Smiths? How am I gonna know which one's mine? But then I saw the ID.
Oh, good. Okay.
Stand corrected. Thanks.
Perfect. Okay. You were just ahead. You're ahead of the game. Okay. Perfect. Okay. So in that case, let's say we're ready to go in and add a referral for this individual. If you hit add referral here, it is going to pop up a drop down for you where you can have various organizations or services that this person may need. So in this case, let's say I need food pantry access and maybe a daycare center. If I click those, it then, in this case, this being a multiple referral, it's going to pop up two drop downs here where we would select the referral provider for those two different services. So from this first drop down, let's say we've got Scale It Childcare here, and then Lynette's site. So one thing you guys will notice on this, since we did that service finder piece prior to this referral system, that was all to kind of help populate this testing. So in this case, Lynette's site's in here, and then I believe this is probably like Emma's site would be my guess, or someone from her organization. So those would pop up there so that you're able to save those and then send those off. So if there are any that pop up that don't have an organization attached, it's likely just the test data didn't have someone attached to that specific type of service yet. So we'll take a look at that. But once you pick those two different providers and then come in and hit, I think it was hit save, it's going to, in this case, make you two different tabs here because this individual, we have two different referrals that we were sending out to two different organizations. So it will populate those into different tabs for you. But in this case, there's a couple required things that you need in order to send the referral. Okay, so this send referral here to go to that organization that we're referring to will kind of be like this muted blue until we get a couple of these other things completed. So one of them being, we need to have that consent status in here. So you would hit add or update. If you've already given consent before, there would be an update option. But in this case, since we have not done one before, we would just hit yes and then save. So it'll tell you that referral consent was added. It does add that information down here to the consent history and referral history in general. But once you add that consent, you then can have that primary contact show up. So this has Emma's info in it because whenever she went in our release 1, got that information in there, she was tied to it. Let's see, earlier it was having me put a note in here. Let's see if it's still doing that. So let's see, we'll have to take a look at this one because it was doing this to me right before we got in here. Okay, we'll take a look at that before we send it out to you guys too, since that's popping up. So these instructions will likely come out tomorrow morning. But what we have here, I'm putting that primary contact. Again, that's the person tied as the primary contact for the referrals. But in this case, we have a couple options here. So if you know who you're sending it to, you could do that. So that would be your first one. Again, once you have those available, it's going to turn blue where you could send that at like a darker blue like this one, and you'll be able to send that and that'll generate that information to head over to that referral.
I noticed is there a little red thing next to okay, it is on there, but I don't see, it doesn't, under consent status, it doesn't like say on there.
Oh, up here.
Okay, add or, okay, it says add or update. Okay, so it went, I didn't even notice, what did it say before you?
Let's look. I think Harry Potter here. Nope, not him. Let's look at Stephen. Oh yeah, so Stephen, it would say no consent. But I think that's good feedback. If you want to put that in as, it'd be easier.
I just wonder if like approved would be better than active, just because active doesn't really tell you
Okay.
Or consent is current or something like that.
something like that. Yeah, because active just means that element is available to you or something. It doesn't really.
Gotcha. Okay. So let's say in here, where's our referrals? Okay. So from here, let me try this one more time and see if this works.
Oh, you probably got to do this. Yeah, you have to do the consent, don't you?
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll definitely look into that piece for you guys.
I
But
wonder if, I don't know, I'm just thinking back on some of the updates that he made. I wonder if it has to do with the program. Is there a program that needs to be selected? I don't know. We can look into it, but
yeah, we'll look into it. Okay, so from there though, it is going to send a referral, and what we're going to practice the following week is how to like respond to those referrals. So we'll make sure that we have that piece going. But if you need to go back to the customer's profile, you can hit return to profile, and then it's going to list out all their referrals over the course of time. So maybe, you know, a customer we sent referrals on in 2020, and now, you know, we're back to 2025 and we've got that full history there. So it would show, you know, that information as you populate the system going forward.
But how did they get there if they didn't save?
So these ones, whenever you add them, they will add here. The only thing it's not letting me do right now is it's not letting me send it to that organization
Oh,
until I
okay.
fill out, yeah, until I fill out the primary contact and then that consent. Once it has those, it will send it. And then from here, it would show you the status too. So that's something important to see of like, okay, it was sent to Scale It Childcare from Carter Foundation on the 22nd, status being referral sent.
Yeah, what are all the different status that will be in the drop down?
Yes, those are, we've got like not started, referral received, attempting contact, referral in progress. So once the appropriate organization receives that referral email, they'll be able to log in and say, okay, I'm attempting to contact Kelly, or, you know, referral in progress. We're actually working through that right now. Referral closed. We already did that. So the receiving organization of that referral will be able to update that as the case progresses. But those will be the different types there. But had that sent the way I needed it to, it would show referral received, I believe, because it sent that over to the organization. Let's see, I think we've got a good example in here. Oh yeah, here we go. So from there, it'd be referral received is what it would say. And then say you're like, oh, you know what? I forgot to add one. You can also add another referral from that list as well. So if you're like, well, we added those two, but we need to add one more, you can send another from that employee's, or sorry, from that customer's profile.
Now if we go back, when you were choosing the referral, so where you're going to refer them, you said something about the program. If a particular place has more than one program that you want to refer them to, is that possible? Okay, yeah, you can. So if
Yes. You mean like if you were gonna do like multiple services?
yeah,
just,
so let's
yeah.
say if it was like for housing and food assistance or something like that, you know, if those were
Yes.
things that were available, that you can.
Yes, you can do more than one.
Okay.
That way you don't have to do one, close it out, come back. So you're able to add multiple at one time. And then pick the appropriate organization. And then from there, that's where it breaks it into, okay, we've got referral 1 that we're sending them to Carter Foundation, referral 2, Scale It Childcare, referral 3, Workforce Center. So it breaks those out. So you're able to do that consent and contact and then send referral for each.
But if one agency had more than one service, then under services requested, there'd be more than one bullet point.
Correct.
Like,
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, you're on it. You're right on. So it would say, yep, assistive technology and, insert other service. So, but yes, that is exactly how it would work. Great questions. Okay.
I popped it in the chat. This is Emma, and sorry,
Oh, okay.
there's just somebody talking nearby me, so I had to go stay off mute. But and maybe it'll be more clear when I have it big on my screen, but if you're referring for multiple services within like referral 1, 2, and 3, are there 3 separate status fields?
There would not be a different, go ahead.
No,
Sorry,
I would just
Natasha.
say there's not right now. It's the one status for that referral.
So would the
Currently.
expectation be like it wouldn't be completed until that customer has connected to all 3 of those things?
Within the same organization.
Okay, so it's within the same organization that you can't do like 3 referrals to different services.
Oh yeah, you could.
You can, yeah, like if you had a referral to Scale It and it was for transportation, childcare, and something else, it'd be a referral to Scale It. And then, but there's at this time, the way we have it set up, it's set up for that one referral. Like, has it been
Okay.
received? Is it started?
And then on that page you're showing now, it would have like 3 services. It'd have a 3 instead of a 1 for services, right?
Yep.
Mhm.
But it's for one organization that's receiving that referral. It's not like 2 of those services are childcare and one of those is for Lynette's site and they all have the same status.
Correct. Lynette's
Okay,
site would
okay.
have a different
Okay.
status.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, and then some of the kind of feedback, some of the things that we would like to do too is like, when it comes to like the services where it says one, we have adding more fields at the top and like search filters so you can filter it by the types of services and a variety of things too. So you can drill down to like specific service type information. But yeah, no, Scale It would be one referral status and Lynette's would be another referral status. Does that make sense or?
Yes.
Okay.
I just put a screenshot in the chat too, so you can see like an example of what it'll look like when you're giving multiple services at one location. And then it would be one row with one status. And then it has a referral to tab. In my example, referral to also has multiple locations or multiple services at Scale It. So it, like Kelly's saying, it just is a bulleted list if you're doing more than one service at that location.
That makes sense. Thank you.
I think in this case though, I added these 2 at different times, or maybe they were probably actually different services because yeah, that one was food pantries and this one was, oh no, they're the same, but I added them at different times. So it broke them out to different lines, it looks like. Okay. Any other questions? Great questions so far. Thank you guys for being so engaged and asking the questions. I think that helps for especially people that have missed today and also your peers on the call.
Are there any final questions that we're at, Kelly?
I don't believe so.
No, I'm asking, do we need to ask them, are there any final questions, or was there more you need to go over?
Oh, no, any final questions? I would say the only other thing, if anybody wants to hang back and like walk through anything with us, you're more than welcome. Or if you want to make sure that like you can get logged in, I'm here to help with that if need be. So otherwise, if nothing else, you all are good to go. And thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for your engagement in UAT. And I know there's a lot going on, but the more involved you guys can be in this process and the more feedback you can give us, the stronger we can make this system and help shape the best possible workflow. So just want to continue to really encourage you all to fully participate and use those personas, but also get in there and use real world scenarios that you guys have interacted with and make sure that this system is going to work for you. Because that's what the overarching goal of all of this is making sure we're building something that works. And the only people who can tell us that is you guys out in the field. So we're really, really appreciative of all you have done so far and look forward to continuing to working with you guys through the next couple of weeks as we move through UAT. Thank you.